Hello and welcome to In the Money Media's coverage of the 2024 Kentucky Derby. Kentucky Derby prep action coming fast and furious this weekend. Thanks to our friends at Rein for sponsoring this video. Rein Coffee, that is. Be hearing a little bit more from them a little bit later in the video. PTF and JK here to talk about the Bluegrass Stakes, the most exciting prep race I think yet for this year's Kentucky Derby, simply because it brings in so many disparate form lines. We're going to get major clues on offer. JK, I think we got to start the conversation with the horse who's number one on our top 10 list right now. That horse is Sierra Leone. You can see him here making his way through the slop in the Risen Star. Curious to get your thoughts on Sierra Leone and what you think he's going to do in the Bluegrass.
Well, I don't know if that was a Freudian slip if you feel like he should be number one, but I think he's number two because Fierceness ran off the screen, but maybe you're trying to hint on how you feel about this race. Look, Sierra Leone, a talented racehorse. I think that he is going to get the best of not Top Conor, but of Dornoch. But I do think there is a couple of other horses in here like Top Conor that are interesting just a touch. Another one who I mentioned on the not top 10 video we did of horses that were in the top 10 that could be. I think it's definitely going to be a nice little showdown in the Bluegrass.
For sure. And the word that was missing in that sentence was previous host fail there. Sierra Leone had been a number one before Fierceness's tour de force last weekend. Speaking of fierceness, let's get right to our comment contest winner for this video. Thanks to Curtis Watson for chiming in and telling us how much he likes fierceness and agrees with that number one selection. He had a case very similar to yours, JK, about why this horse might just continue to go forward. Thank you, Curtis. We'll have another contest comment at the end of this video. Let's move on to other horses competing in the Bluegrass on this Saturday at Keeneland. I think the next place to go, JK, is Dornoch, a horse that beat Sierra Leone, obviously back in the Remsen Stakes. But I, for one, think Sierra Leone can get the best of him today. What do you make of Dornoch?
Look, I just didn't learn anything about Dornoch last time, right? I was never really overly high on him anyways. Obviously, his pedigree is outstanding, being a brother to Mage, but I was never overly excited about him, and I thought that his run, was just kind of whatever in the Fountain of Youth. We didn't learn much about him. Feels like Sierra Leone is a little bit more battle-tested. If I'm being honest and I'm being fair, I think I trust the connections of Sierra Leone a little bit more, just a higher percentage organization. And I just feel like in this situation, as the distances get a little bit longer and Dornoch gets a little bit more pressure towards the front end, I think that it could set up very nicely for a horse like Sierra Leone, or like you mentioned, even a horse like Top Conor.
I think there's a risk of trainer Danny Gargan crossing you off his holiday card list, JK, but I can't say that I disagree. And for those that think that Remsen form line is going to hold up, just remind you that the inside was where you wanted to be that day at Aqueduct. Dornoch was on the right part of the track, Sierra Leone and possibly wide. I think he reverses the form come this Saturday. Let's take a moment to thank our sponsors for this video. Rein Coffee Company. I've been drinking this stuff left and right. It's really top quality coffee with a variety of different styles. And best of all, you have an opportunity right now to get a 20% discount site-wide if you use our promo code MONEY20. You can click the link right in the video or go to the website and navigate around, whether you're looking for pods or beans or grounds. Rein Coffee got you covered, especially during a busy week like this, JK, where you and I need to get up and get after it. It really helps to have some Rein Coffee in the cup. Let's talk about this race at Keeneland, JK, beyond the big two on Saturday. Who do you think is the most interesting runner other than those? Is it one of the ones you've mentioned so far?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's got to be Top Conor. I've said this before. Over the summer, was able to hang out one morning around Chad Brown's barn, and he had mentioned that even that day in July, before the meet started, when Top Conor walked by, he said, this might be my Derby horse. Now, I mean, obviously there's a lot to go into that. And he obviously didn't get started till about 7-8 months later when he won his race in February. But I do think there's something about this horse as the distances get longer. Chad felt very confident that he was going to continue to improve. So having that kind of information in my pocket, it makes me think that Top Conor could take another step forward off of that maiden performance first time out down at Gulfstream.
Qatar Racing are friends of the show. They've got an entrant in here that we've talked about on this show and others. Give us a quick word on where you stand right now with Just a Touch.
Yeah, this is my pick in here. Look, I've thought this horse has shown a bunch of talent. I think maybe last time in the Gotham with the sloppy racetrack and a horse like Deterministic running at him late, I think that's kind of what got to him. I think I'm looking forward to seeing him have another chance, a second time going a mile or longer. And I think that you can't really coach brilliance at this point. And I think Just a Touch has a little bit of that brilliance. I think we'll find out on Saturday if that's the case.
We will indeed. My selection, I've tipped my hand already, going with Sierra Leone. A long shot. I hope he's going to be a long shot to consider, though. I'm going to mess around a little bit more for underneath with a horse called BU. This is a horse that had fastest horse in the world type buzz at Saratoga last summer as well. Took a little while to really show that promise on the race course in the afternoon. Finally did so when cutting back in distance to 7 furlongs. And maybe that's ultimately where he's going to be the best. But in BU, you have a horse that goes out for top connections, who actually is going to have the highest last out buyer speed figure, who's going to be 8-1, 10-1. What do you think, JK? Am I maybe onto something with BU, or am I eating paste in the corner?
No, absolutely. Anytime Todd Pletcher sends one over, Irad's on his back, and they happen to have the blue and the orange silks, I think you're always drawing live. But this horse is an individual. It makes all the sense in the world, right? It showed some talent as a 2-year-old, showed some talent last time, ran fast, ran well. Going the 7 furlongs, just have to take the step forward in distance, but I have no problem with BU as a possibility in here.
Comment contest. Give us your exacta for this year's Bluegrass Stakes. We will feature you in a future video. Just want to highlight this cool promotion from our friend at Twinspires, the Daily Double Down. Opt in and hit 2 daily doubles to receive a 25% boost on all winning daily double wagers at Keeneland every Wednesday through Friday in April. For JK, I'm PTF. Thanks to our sponsors over at Free Rein Coffee Company. We'll be back with another video probably right about now.